This is the sound of pouring light into all four corners of the fountain. This is the sound of four corners being filled with light, pouring light into the four corners of the fountain. The fountain is attempting to develop a center place for coordinated collaboration to be able to bring four sides from different energies, from spectrums of development, to be able to push forward more so reality for the global philanthropy energy grid to be able to become more so reality and to become more so unified with the planet of Earth, to be able to develop almost hand in hand with something like Facebook, something like LinkedIn, but like a combination in essence, and also sort of combining the physical elements of in real life play and the benefits of in real life sports to be able to like interchange the necessity to have to go back and forth to gymnasiums to work out, for example, to be able to shift that mindset into playing global sports outdoors through augmented reality and virtual reality and also physical reality at all the same time, to be able to cause philanthropy energy and global philanthropy energy games to happen widely so that all people are able to connect with the essence of sports and at the same time be able to transition and transfer our world in the present day and age into a world of sports so that every place in the world is like an amusement park. It's like fun. It's like a carnival. It's like a sports arena in essence, like a big recreation center in essence, where there's like a gymnasium that has like a lot of soft pillows and foam pads so you can run around inside and do a lot of crazy things and go off like from a rope swing from one side to another and do like a somersault if you feel like it, because you can just act like a kid in DINKY Tech and Change for Game Studios, which is the platform that we are as a company, as a brand. So in essence, we're just trying to roll out the initial concepts and the initial pipelines and the initial focuses that have to do with Change for Game Studios, which is in essence a platform that in essence corresponds and coalesces with like Facebook mindset status of existence in terms of also correlation to like LinkedIn and other social medias, for example. But this is more like meant to be a center place for all social medias in essence, to be able to try to connect so that ultimately there's an essence of business music and everybody becomes rock stars in this platform, in essence, Change for Game Studios, where it's just a highlight of something called business music, which is what this podcast has been about this whole time, more or less, to be able to try to start to shed light upon, which is kind of what is the last interest and focus for the end result in essence, which is the global philanthropy grid, to be able to become alive more so through the digitization of like a social network, kind of where like in essence there's at least that ability to be able to have a representation of platforms being available, and at least 8 billion platforms being open and available to every individual on earth in essence. So it's like they already exist, it's already there. It's like the pipelines of energy is present in essence for all these business music brands, which is something that has to do with speaking to the ambition of the conceptual future and fulfilling the conceptual potential of the highest conceptual potential that can be conceived on the other end, on the back end of conceptualizing that potential to be conceivably fulfilled on the back end of conceptualizing that conceptual unfulfilled potential on the front end, so that hopefully one day that potential can be conceptually filled by looking forward into the future and conceivably having philanthropy energy be the thing that guides individuals and groups conceivably all the way to the ability of fulfilling the conceptual unfulfilled potential that has to do with fulfilling philanthropy energy, bringing the most philanthropy energy that is possible to the global philanthropy energy grid that is planet Earth, as well to be able to try to bring the most value to planet Earth, as well to be able to try to also transition the nature of business into the nature of games, so that in essence we're able to have this consistent mindset and develop it through the essence of something that's unifying, similar to Facebook and similar to LinkedIn, and similar to a crosshatch, so that in essence we have this globalization that has to do with social media, and in essence it's possible to be able to leverage 200 plus countries and more territories, all the countries in the world, to be able to bring down the borders eventually, so we have just one unified global philanthropy energy grid, and we're able to realize that potential all together as one by also opening up our talent agency. In essence, like we're opening up more or less the mindset of a talent agency for a business music talent agency, where accountability coaching is like the new agents in that spectrum of the old entertainment industry, in essence, but it's in essence the opposite of what that was. So it's the opposite of what the entertainment industry was, in essence, and this is more about business music, which is all about reality. The entertainment industry is all about fake reality, in essence, and it's all like light, smoke and mirrors and lights and fake stories, more or less fiction stories. And the other side, the transposition, the opposite, the inverse of that is non-fiction stories, is the business music that is in the hearts of the realities of the real stories of all people, all human beings in the world, on the planet. That's business music. And our goal is to open this talent agency, which is shedding light upon that business music within every human being's soul, in essence. And at the same time, it's already there. But that's how the Change for Game Studios platform, the global platform, in essence, which is like a social media platform, is in essence illustrating and conceptualizing that already exists, that potential already exists within the hearts and souls of all individuals, all 8 billion individuals in the world. And so therefore, it's in essence like just a conceptual symbol that there's already at least 8 billion platforms on this conceptualization of the Change for Game Studios platform, in essence. And there's a few steps, obviously, to get there. This podcast is obviously a step in that direction, in essence, and we are trying to develop a brokerage, also stepping in that direction as well. And then, developing awareness and a mascot DJ to try to develop more so awareness, to try to spread the water down the line into the into the mains that will try to leak into this direction, to develop enough energy to try to get enough people to flow into the direction of taking the seats in this Change for Game Studios platform. So in essence, everybody has the ability to work together, and groups are able to work together as well. So meaning existing companies are able to work together, or brand new groups, new conceptual groups, new group peoples that are able to group mind together and develop different groups on a whim, on the fly, to develop conceptual different group cross-hatching energies on a consistent basis, so that there's more so the open-minded potential for different collaborations to be able to connect and happen on a whim by differentiating different groups and different group conceptual circles of people and different energies that are formed from different conceptual groups of any given shape or form, meaning ones that are formed pre-existed and are companies that are pre-existed for a while, or that are brand new, or that are starting tomorrow or next week. And we're trying to facilitate the ability for that unfulfilled potential to be fulfilled, or at least that conceptual forward projection of those conceptual potential ambitions to be projected in the present day, to be able to project conceptual projection energy forward into the greatest philanthropic projection forward that is possible through the lens of the platform profiles, in essence, to be able to help connect all individuals in the world and all groups that all have ambition to be able to continue to develop philanthropic energy through the use of sports, games, business, mindsets that have to do with children, play, and in essence the ability to connect with all that, and including animals, like animals being able to consistently be representations of the idea and the ideation of play on a consistent basis, because that's almost similar to how they are programmed in many ways. And so it's similar to how we are trying to reprogram ourselves as human beings, so that we have the ability to change the nature of games and the nature of business, change the nature of business, so that the whole world can be playing, in essence, games, to be able to develop philanthropy, which is in essence to be able to try to solve problems, which is in essence also working alongside different energies that are sort of meant to work in our favor, such as artificial intelligence, so that ultimately, even conceptually based upon artificial intelligence and the conceptualization that this conceptual energy already exists, that before the end of this episode, that realistically, ultimately, in essence, based upon the nature of potential, that this also already, this platform, this conceptual social media platform of Change for Game Studios also already conceivably, conceptually exists, because the nature of artificial intelligence has the ability to be able to play out and conceptually play out and facilitate the ability to also collaborate and coordinate conceptual potential and project conceptual potential based upon logic and based upon conceptual prompts that in essence are able to flood the floodgates of perpetuity of conceptual perpetual creative outlets and direction of a trajectory that it's programmed and prompted to think in. And this podcast in essence is a symbol for this in essence trajectory in that direction. So that's therefore how this conceptual potential platform already conceptually potentially exists before the end of this episode, because as you know, that conceptual potential already exists and lies within the nature and the potential of AI to fulfill the potential to help all people collaborate in the world, all individuals, all conceptual groups at the same time, so that in essence this has the ability to already exist right now, and therefore it already exists. Poof, just like that. In one instant, in one moment, in 1 second, now it already exists, because you know that conceptual potential has been fulfilled. It is fulfilled. It conceivably is fulfilled in wavelengths, in conceptual frequencies, in the air, in the vibrations of conceptual conceivability that exists within AI, artificial intelligence, as well as the ability to be able to actually carry out and fulfill that potential by not only this platform existing literally at the base of a suggestion into artificial intelligence. It can develop this application so that the framework based upon other existing open source applications such as Airbnb, for example, are able to be developed just like that. And then conceivably all people in the world and all of their conceptual ambitions already exist on this conceivable platform, and at the same time the iterations based upon the collaborations with artificial intelligence already exist based upon certain prompts, such as this prompt that has to do with the prompts connected to all the conceptual prompts to all 8 billion people in the world and all conceptual groups that are in the world that are existing and non-existing groups, including companies that already are existing and have existed for many years and a long time. So therefore, that is how we're developing a talent agency at the same time through this framework of the Change for Game Studios development. And we're developing the new film industry at the same time. It's like at the same time we're developing an agency and the industry and the new film industry at the same time. So we're being kind of both. It's similar to how the film industry actually started out before the government, I think, had to break them up at one time. The agencies and the film studios were together, connected, and then they became called like a monopoly in essence. So because we're just kind of new in this field, I guess you could say, are like a monopoly of the agency and the studio at the same time, because we're taking this industry by storm, which is kind of a joke, I guess, but it's the unfulfilled potential industry, and so we're trying to transpose upon the backside of what the entertainment industry was to make this the new film industry that's based upon non-fiction energy, and this is called business music. So you could also conceptualize it like music actors, music performers, in other words, some of them that sing as individuals, or some of them that perform as individuals, and some of them that perform in groups. It's as basic as that. In essence, we're trying to help to facilitate and have a place and a home for business music to be able to exist and thrive, and to be able to have a foundation for, and a base house for, and a base existence for under the roof of our talent agency, which is also known as Change for Game Studios, which, the framework and the nature of the framework of the conceptualization of what the entity is meant to be symbolized for, mostly as like a financial organization, or not mostly, but in essence also like a financial organization as well. So it's kind of like what film studios in essence have been known to be called as well. So in essence you could call us that as well, I guess, because that's what they do, is they make deals, they develop structure, and that's also what agencies do as well. But our conceptual interest to develop an agency is more so revolving around the interest to be able to continue to propagate and realize that all people already are stars, and such things. They already are actors. They already are performers in the day-to-day life, performers in the way of business music. They're emanating from their heart, from their soul, the greatest conceptual potential to be able to understand and find value from their own business music from inside, what they're resonating, what their frequencies are resonating, which is the conceivable ability to be able for all people to be connected to entrepreneurship based upon the understanding that conceptual potential exists, because they are living and breathing and thinking in most instances. So that ultimately leads to the conceptualization of being able to add value, because if you can have a conversation, in essence, you are constantly adding value in conversations. And then therefore we're just trying to draw the logic down the line all the way to be able to iterate the conceptual potential, to be able to play out the potential to add value, in essence, to industries, and that therefore develops the potential to play out the conceptual potential for Change for Game Studios, the platform, to be able to exist, because we're in essence able to draw out the potential, to be able to fulfill that potential by going through the motions of iterating through artificial intelligence on every single person, every individual, their business music, in essence their business music, what that business music is that would resonate with if they were all to start a business, if all 8 billion people and all their friends together, so that you have at least one business per every person in the whole world, which is therefore directly drawing into the philanthropy energy, direct energy pool in the world, because that's what all businesses do in the world. So if every person, all 8 billion, was obligated to develop a business, in essence, that's 8 billion brand new businesses, more or less, and then also existing businesses and conceptually non-existing businesses also are able to add to that pool of philanthropy energy. So the whole purpose is to make the whole world into this and realize this global philanthropy energy grid based upon the realization that it already exists, and also based upon the conceptual iteration with conceptual collaborations with artificial intelligence, for example, to be able to develop and draw upon the artificial intelligence conceptual collaborative mindsets to be able to more readily and more rapidly develop new businesses at the drop of a hat, also based upon what's current in every single day and the nature and the status of the market, so that every person has the ability to contribute. All 8 billion people and their brand new businesses have the ability to add value into the global marketplace on a consistent basis, and therefore this realization already exists for the reason of our artificial intelligence, and the reason that all these new and untold and unforeseen businesses have the potential to exist, because the collaboration with artificial intelligence is perpetually able to consistently unfold new concepts and consistently new friend groups on a consistent basis of overlapping people in different formats of getting together and clustering with each other, are also able to be facilitated and worked for and given the collaboration with artificial intelligence to be able to play out their business music on the Change for Game Studios platform. So we're not only trying to be a talent agent and trying to influence the world piece by piece, country by country, business by business, plate by plate around the world, as we continue to spin our wheels on a day-to-day basis as DINKY Tech and Change for Game Studios, the brand, the company, the evolving energy, if you will. But we're also trying to roll out the talent agency mindset to iterate upon and brighten the lights that are pouring into the fountain, the lights that are pouring into the fountain for every business music source, resource, and energy source that comes and emanates from the hearts of every human being on earth, all 8 billion people, as well as all the conceptual groups that have existed in the past as businesses, as past businesses, and also new businesses that don't necessarily exist, all new collaborations from new human beings that have never been conceptualized before, because of the inspiration from Change for Game Studios, DINKY Tech and Change for Game Studios, the company, the platform, the consistent ongoing energy unfolding, that inspiration that has not yet been realized is also conceivably also able to be facilitated within the conceptual new platform of Change for Game Studios, and the realization of this new energy and this talent agency conceptualization that's also kind of an iteration and a conceptual conceptualization that has to do with a combination of like the United Nations, churches in the world, Ryan Serhant, the global the real estate brokerage, Mr. Beast, the philanthropist, and also Global Citizen, the organization from New York that in essence has to do with many connective actions around the world to activate philanthropy, and also music, concerts as a result. And then at the same time, Games for Change, which is also in New York City. And then at the same time, what's the other one, the first one, the last one? Oh, Nike shoes, because they are connected to all the sports, many sports in the world, and they're probably most deeply connected into the sports culture into the world. So we want to try to iterate on the sports culture on a consistent basis. We're trying to speak directly into the sports culture. We're trying to iterate. We're trying to add value to. We're trying to develop. We're trying to completely remodel the sports industry as a whole. Completely overhaul and remodel the sports industry at the same time, fundamentally as an underlining interest and ambition and hope and fundamental unforeseeable like groundwork interest, back of the mind mindset, if you will, to be able to develop all kinds of new sports that somehow develop and influence and iterate upon the conceptual potential to have fun outside and outdoors, for outdoor games to be able to be played IRL with each other. Also the conceptualization to play by things like Neuralink, where people can play and connect to the internet with other people through augmented reality or virtual reality, either in home, outside, but they're constantly being able to add value to the global world and the global process and the global spectrum of global value. It's continuing to spin around the whole world as we continue to collaborate and continue to realize the conceptual potential and the conceptual value and the conceptual realization and the conceptual staring us in the face that philanthropy energy constantly is, because philanthropy energy already is at the back end of every single business that's on planet Earth. Philanthropy energy is the purpose, the cause, the interest, the purpose, again, for every single business on Earth to exist, is to cause more so philanthropy energy, so that ultimately the world gets to become a better place, and ultimately more people are provided more value, and the most value is possible to be provided to the most people possible around the whole world in the best, most fluid, most succinct, most coordinated, most unified, conceptual, possible, conceivable, potential way possible. So let's try to all conceptually fulfill the unfulfilled potential conceivably in the unfulfilled potential market by continually building the global philanthropy energy grid. All together as one, we continue to build the global philanthropy energy grid and make the whole world the new form of Olympics, the sports Olympics, philanthropy, sports Olympics, every single day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, by all of us being able to unify in this global play mindset as soon as possible. Thanks again. Dinky Tech and Change for Game Studios. Bye. Peace. Bye.